kids can say Christmas morning comes twice for them in 1 year. In my house, the feeling of Christmas happens twice. Not granted, Santa doesn't come the second time, but still the excitement and the jitters of Christmas morning comes twice, even at age 18. Now, it's something better. The 12-hour drive to Eau Claire, Wisconsin to see my aunt, uncle, Aunt Mary, and Uncle Don. Today, at Connell's Restaurant, I am honored to be speaking about them, to show the support and all the belief they had in me for the last couple of years. They truly mean the world to me, and I wouldn't be here without their love and encouragement. Aunt Mary, you always tease me about my first time visiting, how I only let my dad be able to hold me and wouldn't let anybody else touch me. But you went above and beyond your way to get me to come out of my own shell, mostly by using animals, because even then, I still love animals. And then, you always were there to help me and support my dreams. I always wanted to be a veterinarian, and you always made sure that I had everything that I needed to be a veterinarian. You went out and bought me a little dog so I can practice bandaging it. And then, when I decided I wanted to be a cheerleader, which in hindsight, you have to be able to do the splits, the cartwheels, and somersaults. I can't do any of that. But you went out and got me a cheerleading uniform so that my doll and I could practice cheerleading together. And then, now, about 7 years later, I still send you pictures about dogs, and you still send me supporting messages about all the dogs. And I send you a lot of pictures, but you always have the same kind words. And then, you also tell me about your animals in your life, and it really means the world to me, because you always support me. Uncle Don, well, from exploring your garage to sitting on your lap with the cats as a young child, you always made sure I was able to pet at least one cat. They did not like little children, and they did not like when my brother and I came to visit, mostly because we terrorized them. We didn't mean to, but, you know, they're older cats, and we just wanted to play with them. And they never really appreciated us, but at the end, before they about died, they liked us. Then, as I was a teenager, I will always remember when you and Aunt Mary owned Ziggy. Ziggy was the only dog that you guys owned. He was a little white toy poodle. And when you walked into the room, it did not matter where you were coming from. Ziggy always came running in, and he was always barking at you. You're the only person who got it, but then you always claimed that he didn't like you. But in the mornings, when I used to sneak downstairs from being upstairs after sleeping, you were always down there sneaking him cookies as you guys watched the morning television. As Emerson and I found out, Uncle Don, you always did exciting stuff on our trips, always making the car rides funny, and we were in the car a lot. And then, as a young child, you let Emerson and I become race car drivers in your garage. And they even get that mad when the one time you had to crawl under the car, and Emerson, to this day, I still blame my brother for nailing the horn. Why? Because we were race car drivers, and we wanted my dad out of the way, but, you know, we kind of forgot that someone was underneath the car. And you always claim that we made you deaf, but it's okay. I still blame it on Emerson. And then you show us part of Eau Claire that everyone may not be able to see. You always made sure that we got to see the beautiful, the bad, and everything about Eau Claire. I hope that someday I'll be able to live in Eau Claire or even visit to show my children some of the best memories. A couple of these memories involve animal shelters. Every year, no matter what age, we always go to the animal shelter. My aunt and uncle do a lot for the animal shelter, and every year I get to see all the pretty puppies and all the cats, and I get to play with them for about 25 minutes because my mom's allergic to cats and dogs, and she can't really be in the room that much. But it's okay, because we always go. And she kind of pays for it, but that's okay. And then another one visit we took was a children's museum. When you told us that I was going to a children's museum, I thought that meant going through history and seeing certain exhibits. But instead it was actually a fun-filled day of being able to run my own business, having all the center attention at me when I was on the theater group, and basically bossing every little child around there because I was tall for my age, and everybody seemed scared of me. Just let me roam the area. But that's okay, because you always followed us, and you were our biggest fans. And even today, every car ride that we've done, going to all the different places, was another adventure and a memory in my heart. Then you took us to the Eagle Center. The Eagle Center was in Minnesota, and we got to see the bald eagles that were being cared for. They got hit by cars, and we got to see pictures. And I even got to take a picture next to the bald eagle. It was a real one, and we watched it eat a mouse. It was very entertaining for a 7-year-old girl. Kind of. It was more for my brother. And then, all suddenly, you took me to Lori Ingalls Wilder. I loved her as books. I used to carry them around when I was in Wisconsin, and we'd talk all about it. And we got to see the place where she lived. I thought that was amazing, because I still can't believe that you remember that. And then, one part being unique in Eau Claire was that we watched the zoo grow. There's this little zoo that's based on donations, and only by donations. And the first time I visited there, they only had a couple of monkeys. Now, to this day, they have tigers, hyenas, bears, and everything. And it's so cool how big it's grown. They don't have any giraffes yet, but apparently that's in the works of bringing some giraffes. And then finally, at nighttime. We're only there for 2 days, but those 2 days are so packed with everything and so amazing, but of course it comes to the end. But we always get to visit the neighbor's house. The neighbor's house is absolutely beautiful. We get to go over there and we get to pick raspberries, different kinds of fruit. And of course they have a dog. And since you guys always own cats, you always brought me over there so that I could play with the dog. And they had a yellow lab. His name was Zeke, or Zeus, one of the two. I think they had both of them. But you always brought me over there and you would always let me go through the trails. And I finally got to see. And I always dreamed about owning the neighbor's house, but then I found out that it costs over $1 million to own that house. And I decided that maybe, just maybe, I'll move into another different apartment. Perks of going to Wisconsin involved Leinie Lodge. Leinie Lodge was a family tradition that my dad even remembers going as a child. We always go there, and I don't know how many times we were assigned in the guest book that they had there, but it's always part of our daily adventures. So you always show us Eau Claire, and then one of these days I do want to bring my children to Eau Claire. So thank you for all that you've done. So as we're back here sitting today in O'Connell's Restaurant, a restaurant that I've been going to since I've been about 3 years old, I can't thank you enough, Aunt Mary and Uncle Don, for what you've done for the last 18 years. As Princess Diana once said, family is the most important thing in the world. I am truly blessed to have you two in my life, and I truly mean that. Every time when I see your email name across my email, it always gets me excited to see what you guys are doing. From going to the Country Music Fest to having pictures of Taylor Swift from all the concerts that you've seen of her. Yes, this is before she became popular and went into pop, but I still have all these pictures of all these well-known artists that you guys got to see. Or if you're telling me something about Pumpkin the cat that's happened, she's their new cat and she's a lively one and she actually likes children, so that's always good. So thank you for what you've done. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. So now I'm going to ask everyone to raise their glass in the honor of the best aunt and uncle out on the road. Here's to another 20 years of Wisconsin memories with you.